Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. This is Orator Produce signing on. Such a beautiful day today, really. I said I would come back and give a deeper insight on that message I received, the last video I put up about the litmus test. So I need to, give you guys that revelation, because unbeknownst to me, the litmus test actually has a political meaning as well. So oh my gosh, I did not even know that the litmus test had a dual meaning. However, I was like, let me go look it up and see what else is it revealing. By the way, don't put your clothes, especially dark clothes, in the washing machine without first checking the pockets. I was wondering where my pack of gum went. All over my jacket. It's all good. I wear this mostly in the house anyway. But it's such a blessing to be here and to be well. I know I mentioned that we must pray for our enemies. I think that was the initial video, pray for your enemies. So I'm just going to do a follow-up on both of those while we're here. And because this happened to me just yesterday, no, not yesterday, I want to say Friday, so that was 2 days ago, I had a dream. And I woke up from the dream, and it was not a good dream, but it was someone close to me in the dream that betrayed me. And the dream was just symbolic of some really negative, evil things. It was symbolic of evil. And I had to go in and cancel that dream, because that dream revealed to me that someone close to me was going to betray me. And I'm going to be honest with you, for a split moment, and this is where you got to get stronger and stronger, and the Most High is working on those who are willing to do the work, to build that strength, to build that stamina, to be able to be in this world but not of it, to be in your flesh but not of your flesh. So that moment of weakness that I had, it reflected my flesh in the full. I was like saying, really ugly things about the person who I saw in the dream. And I was like saying, how upset I was. And I was, using different words, and maybe even throwing out all kind of stuff. And you got to remember that we are spiritual beings, and we're going through warfare. We're not really fighting the physical person, but the spirit operating in the person. And you have to keep that in mind, because just like I did at first, I allowed myself to get so blinded that I could have really said some things that will be in root, and you don't want that. You don't want to say something, that could be en route to manifest, and you don't really actually, you just don't want that. Because here's the thing, life is very spiritual, right? You say something now and you're angry, you're upset, and you're in the flesh. You say something and you're thinking that, oh, it's nothing, that was just me just talking while I was upset. But guess what? Those words carry power. Those words carry weight. And you gotta pray for your enemies. Really pray for them, because they're dealing with an embodiment of a dark spirit. Whatever spirit that is housing, that they're housing, is a dark spirit. And so their spirit, their natural God-given spirit, is being subdued by a demon spirit. So when I say pray for them, I don't I don't take that lightly, and I don't mean that in the sense of, the kind of prayer, so to speak, that I was doing in my flesh. And I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm a sinner just like you. So trust me, like, when I say something, it is not from a place of self-righteousness or perfectionism. It's more so from a place of just deep revelation, and what I'm telling you and I know to be true. This is not something that I'm 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 thinking to be true. This is what I know to be true. You must pray for them, pray for their deliverance, and pray that they receive what it is that they're searching for, and pray that the Most High can deliver them. Pray that the Most High can deliver them, because they're suffering too. They're suffering too. And I felt so bad. Hold on. I felt so bad. I felt so bad that is some of the things that I said out of anger, were things that were like they were damning. They were damning and condemning and all that, and it says, there's life and death in the power, there's power of life and death in the tongue, and those who love it shall eat of its fruit. And so if you love to do that, and you're not really being compassionate, forbearing, and don't get me wrong, I want y'all to make a distinction between what I'm saying as being compassionate versus being ignorant or foolish. You don't have to necessarily have someone in your close quarters to be forbearing or to be forgiving or to be compassionate. You could love people from a distance. You could certainly love people from a distance, and that is how you ought to treat your enemies, because there's a real reason why we are commanded to love, and it's mostly for what's in our best interest, because of the laws, the way the universal laws work, and what you want for others will find its way back to you. So in order to keep your blessings and to keep your spirit in the right place, because you've done so much work, you've done so much healing, you've done so much, you don't want, they're gonna do things to trigger you. So you best to, if they're that type of person and you can help it, just keep your distance. Distance is what's gonna give you that space and time to keep away from someone who's harming you. But by no means should you, unless it really calls for that, and the Holy Spirit will lead you to that. If it calls for that, He will lead you to use certain commands to get things going, or He Himself will take care of it. But what you ask for, you got to be careful what you really ask for, because if you're doing it in the heat of the moment without clarity, or in ignorance, you're creating something that could be tangible, but it may not be in His will. It may not be what is in God's will, and that is a form of witchy stuff. You don't want to get into that. You want to just say, Lord, if it is your will, let it be done. Always pray for His will. So I just kind of wanted to mention that, I wanted to mention that, how to pray for your enemies. Lord, let your will be done. God's will is a perfect will, and He's not going to allow, people to destroy you. The only way you can be destroyed is because you lack knowledge and you lack the understanding on how to deal with certain situations, which, it takes time and it takes experience, it takes wisdom. Sometimes, some of us weren't blessed with, older folks in our lives giving us, passing on, the wisdom to us. in its entirety. You know, some of you all may or may have not, received that. So the second part to it, you know, you wanna reap good seeds. You wanna reap good harvest, I mean. So you need to plant good seeds. And part of planting good seeds is just merely just praying for them, saying, Lord, like, deliver them. They're clearly inhabited. They're clearly, under some spiritual influence. God, rid them of that. Deliver them. And when you send that kind of healing their way, healing comes to you where you can release them without the residue, without the resentfulness, without the malice, without the painful memories, because you're actually in speaking that, you're actually sending healing to them. And so they might receive healing if they're not totally given over. They might receive healing. And so it's kind of like a double whammy thing, you know? I'm gonna have to move because I want to get into depth about the second portion of the sun is out. That's a good thing. The second portion of this video is going to be about the litmus test. I promised that I would go back and, dig a little deeper and see where that was really coming from. And so when I researched it, it had a second meaning besides the one that I shared in the previous video. If you haven't checked it out, go check out You Were Tested and Now You Are the Litmus Test. And basically, the litmus test is also symbolic of a political seat. Someone being a candidate for a high political seat. And they have to be processed or asked a question or something generally. And that determines if they are ready for that position. And I thought that was crazy because literally had no idea. I know there are some words that have those kinds of dual meanings, but I had no idea that something that I just mentioned, for whatever reason, I said, let me go look into it, because I literally thought that was the only meaning. I thought it was just a pH scale. I didn't think that it had another meaning, and definitely not a political meaning to it. Not saying that this is politics per se, but it could just be, a position. It could be a spiritual position. It could be, just, I'm not exactly sure. But if you're talking about seating, it's talking about making a movement, the sort of elevation. And so that testing prepared you for some type of elevation, some type of movement. And so that just confirmed to me what that message was about. It confirmed to me what that message was about. And it confirmed that, yes, I have the right perception of what that prophecy was. The litmus test. The testing of a substance to, determine its acidity and its alkalinity levels. And it also has a double meaning. And the double meaning also confirmed what I felt, that it's in the title. The litmus test made you the test, the standard, And so whoever that message resonates with and who is it for, you're going to realize that you're either going through some tests or you've been tested to the point where there's going to be a difference in the things that you have access to. And that could be very general, very broad, but take it as it resonates. Take it as it resonates. That was a deep one. That was a deep revelation, because that's a deep revelation, y'all. I really got to get back. But I will touch bases with you all and let you all know if there's anything else. That was super, super deep. I was so flabbergasted when I saw that, because I literally thought the first definition would have been the chemistry definition. I mean, Google it for yourself. Like, go type in Litmus Test. I was kind of just shocked to really see that, it has a double meaning. I had no idea, but anyways, it's good. I made sure that I came and gave y'all the update. All right, anyways, just y'all be blessed, and you all, keep on praying, keep on striving, keep on doing what you have to do. This is Orator Produce signing out. Bye for now.